Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be doing a review for The Wheel of Time, Season 3, Episode 2, A Question of Crimson. Crimson, of course, referring to the colors of House Tricard. We'll get into all those details. So going into this episode, because I had done a review for the first episode. I was looking for some pictures and I ran into some stuff since all three episodes dropped at once. So I was very interested to see those visuals in context, and a lot of them came up in this episode. Um, so we're gonna get into it, but once again, another good episode. I feel like the first one was so good, just with that really strong opening. But this one opens pretty strong too. It's just a way smaller part of that. This episode also serves as a bit of a transition for some of our travelers, but the main story, the story about the queen that comes to visit in the tower, I think it's very interesting. Queen Morghese of House Ricard. So before we get into the review, there's one thing that I feel like we need to talk about. Uh, what is happening with Moraine's hat as she travels, and really her whole outfit? Moraine is dressed while the rest of the party is dressed to like go on an adventure and a trek. Moraine is dressed like she's about to go have like bottomless mimosas at brunch, and I just thought that was really funny. Like she's got this big old hat, of course, a long flowing dress, and this like pink top, and I was like, this feels like a very interesting choice in wardrobe. So either way, I just thought that was funny. I wanted to bring it up before we got into the actual nitty gritty of the episode. So in this episode, we begin with a flashback 20 years prior to Carmlin, where we see a lot of the houses in the kingdom swearing fealty to Queen Morghese, who has ascended after the war. But of course, after all the houses pledge their loyalty, she still kills the heirs of the houses. So I wonder how that's been how that the effects of that 20 years later. Like, are some of these houses maybe trying to rise to power in Endor? Are they trying to overtake the throne, or do they have machinations? Is that why the queen is a little bit feels like a little bit paranoid about some of the things about how the rule will pass down to her heirs? Interesting stuff. Maybe one of the reasons that Elaine had to go become an Aes Sedai and master that craft is so that her ascendancy to the throne would be like very much undisputed, because she's not only the rightful heir according to bloodlines, but also she's an Aes Sedai, so like that makes her even more of a good candidate, I guess I would think, somebody that the people may rely on. So either way, I'm not sure. I'm sure maybe that's explored in the books. This is uh this normally feels very heavy into the fantasy, but I feel like a story like this really kind of pulled back, and it brought it more into like the type of medieval stuff that I'm kind of used to seeing. Like, I know Game of Thrones came after this book, but like in Game of Thrones, it was all about the lineage, right? And I feel like bringing this story back. So maybe it was something like this that could have inspired some stuff like that. But yeah, I really liked it. I like the visuals. We flash back to the present where the queen comes to Tarvalon, to the tower, and House Tricard is dressed to the nines. They are very extra in their presentation, and of course, it makes sense because it's royalty. So I thought that was really cool. Like, we get to meet the princes, we get to meet the prince consort, and of course, we see the queen with like this really cool, wonderful thing, like just kind of sprawls out like a neck thing around her. I'm not very good with fashion, so I don't know what to call it, but it's just if you see it, you know that that's royalty. There's a little bit of a power struggle between the Amlin, Mother Amlin, and the Queen, because uh, who is in charge? Like, while they are in the tower, like who has the power, right? Uh, so the Queen, she came to check on Elaine after everything that happened. Like, she just wanted to make sure that she was okay. They obviously heard everything that happened in the last season, but I'm glad to see that Elaine Matt's character has grown so much from from the young girl we met, that probably was very sheltered, and now she's kind of got thrown into the deep end. So really fun stuff. Matt is getting a treatment from some of the ice that they're trying to explore what's going on in his mind after blowing the horn. We also see that Min is back. She's the seer that we met earlier in the show. She's back to warn of an upcoming battle, where she can see that Aes Sedai will die, but of course we don't have any context as to how that may happen, or even when that may happen. Right? Her visions, although we know as an audience that they are mostly accurate, they also don't. They come at unexpected times. Let's see. We also see the Andorian princess put on a bit of a show as they spar. This is kind of like their move, to let people know, like, here we are, and we're good looking and we're hot, and you know come get it, I guess. We also follow Perrin as the group arrives back at the Two Rivers, but we see some white cloaks there, and we try to spend a little bit of time trying to figure out why they're there. Obviously, the most likely answer, and the answer that we're given, is that they are hunting for Perrin after what happened. Um, so how that is gonna affect Perrin's journey and the group that he's with, because he also runs into some other people that are also kind of being persecuted by the White Cloaks. And also, will that little town, will they be able to do anything? Right, it's a small village of farmers and sheep herders, uh, and rising up against the White Cloaks is just not something that seems feasible. So we see that Rand and Lanfear finally meet back up in a dream, but at the same time, we are flashing back to Egwene having nightmares. So this led me to believe that it. I mean, I think the show's pretty clear that Lanfear is the one making her have these nightmares, right? We know that the dream realm is something that she's very powerful with, but as Egwene, before she wakes up, she sees one of the ale women, that she meets later on, that she meets later on. So, like, is she also having visions of the future throughout all this, or is this something that Lanfear wanted her to see? I don't know how that play, or is that something that's just out of her control? I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know. I don't really know what that all means. To kind of close out the episode, Elaine stands up to her mother and she tells her that she will stay in the tower. She's committed to what she's doing, and it is her duty. She feels like it is her duty to the kingdom to complete this training and become somebody that can actually help later on. And then, of course, the last part, Rand's group gets to the Aiel Waste that they were going for, but they are received by a group that includes the woman from Egwene's dream. So very interesting stuff. There's a lot of going on in Rand's mind right now. One thing I didn't, I think I skipped. There's a really funny scene where Matt meets the elder mother, and she explains to him about the lore of, like, the horn, and how if somebody, like, the horn doesn't have any power until somebody blows it, then that becomes his. So it is Matt's at the moment. But also, if somebody kills Matt and then takes the horn and blows it, then the power is transferred to them. So really funny that obviously Matt didn't know all this, so he's been kind of bragging about being the horn blower, and getting his portrait painted and all that with the horn. And I just thought there's a little bit of levity, and it all comes with Matt, even though his story's probably one of the grimmest. So that's a really fun balance that the show's doing. But yeah, a lot of interesting things happening. I gotta watch episode 3. That's also out as a recording of this video. But I've been waiting in between review videos and the next episode, so that I go in pretty fresh and don't commingle anything that happened in separate episodes. Either way, let me know what you thought of this second episode, a Question of Crimson. I think this conflict with the Queen will probably come back in the future as well. But it's very interesting stuff. Um, the main story was pretty entertaining for me. I was really invested. The other two really felt like we're gonna set something up for the next few episodes and then leave you there. So hopefully with Perrin and his group, and then Rand and his group, we'll get a little bit more into the nitty gritty in the upcoming episodes. So if you've seen this episode, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, if I missed anything, please make sure to bring it up in the comments. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. And thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.